Welcome back to Kingdom Kast. It's your host, Dynasty Champ Chuck. We back at it with another episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share our social media platforms. We are officially a week away from the NFL draft, people. 1 week away. And, the mock drafts are piling up even more. The suspense is building up even more. So let's go and get into it. Before we get into the topics for tonight's episode, my guy Country's on the top right of the screen. My guy Boogie's on the bottom left of the screen. And I got D-Max on the bottom right of the screen. He's back on this platform tonight, holding it down for Tell the Truth. They did a great episode of the night with the NFL Draft Fantasy Edition. That was a great episode with Harms and CJ and DG. So, what's happening, fellas? How we feeling?
Hey, man, I'm going to be honest. And D-Max said this the other day. I'm ready for the damn draft. This has been the longest. I don't know why it wasn't this long last year. Maybe because it was here. I know CJ said something about because maybe the draft was here. It seemed different, but it seemed like this has been taking forever. And it's like, what is going on?
That's a fact, bro.
Maybe it's doing a weekly podcast. I don't know, because it doesn't seem like it's been this long in the past. So I don't know what it is, but it does need to hurry up. I agree. But the beautiful thing about it is the draft will be over with, and then we'll be like, oh, now preseason needs to hurry up.
I wish it moved that fast, but it's a long little wait between. At least we get the St. Joe. But, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to see who we getting, man. I'm ready for the offseason to be over because you know how the Chiefs do in the offseason. You know, this type of shit we do. So, hopefully, this draft, we get the draft going and 3 feet time, man. Let's see who we adding to the team.
Is that static or somebody like cooking something? What is that?
Oh, my phone.
Is that me?
No, that's
There we go.
it's like
I didn't know.
his boy boiling rice or something.
Sometimes we forget to mute my mic, man. My fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just it is what it is. I mean, we'll get the information and we'll have some signings I think will happen after the draft, after we end up finalizing who those rookies are as well. And then it'll be that long wait until we'll see what happens in St. Joe. But these guys coming together sooner rather than later certainly would be a good thing based on some things that have happened this offseason.
And we started minicamp, the virtual minicamp ain't what it used to be no more since Pat got them down in Texas. But, we started that. So, I mean, football is man, we're going to look around and then football going to be back. But it's just that gap between the combine and the draft, it seems like that gets longer and longer every year.
Yeah, the process does take a minute, man. Like, I saw a post saying, like, we're like 20-something Thursdays away from opening kickoff. It feels like it's going to be a drag, but it'll be here for guys. NFL season will be here for you know what I'm saying? Like, it's still the king of all sports. Everybody looks forward to it and everything. So, I mean, I get the anticipation and the anxiousness, but it'll be here, y'all. So,
there is no off season, bro.
Right. We
okay,
working.
So have y'all watched Draft Day yet? I ain't even talking to you, Boogie. I already know you ain't watched it.
No, I have not watched Draft Day yet. No.
I watched it the other day.
No. See, you went premature with it. You gotta wait. You gotta wait until the week of the draft at least, because otherwise it's just too early with it. Okay, you gotta save your one watch a year for the week of the draft, and then you good. Then you.
I'm considering giving Boogie my Peacock password just so we can watch it. And I'm gonna check it to make sure you watched it. Oh, Boogie, they're go. Oh,
The Boogie Show? The Chuck Show?
what happened? What happened?
What the heck?
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I thought it was back to
Yeah,
Chuck.
I don't know what just happened.
Chuck was like, "Nah, it's all me, dog."
Yeah, I was not trying to do that, man. That was an accident.
It was 2 Boogies on the show, and then it was one, and Boogie said, "Is this the Boogie Show?"
Yeah, I was trying to remove one, and I accidentally put it on the camera on me, man. So
All eyes on me, dog.
Kyle.
On me.
Oh, so like I was saying before, I don't know what happened, But yeah, I'm considering giving Boogie my Peacock password just so we can watch Draft Day
Uh,
and Oppenheimer.
Now I like the history shit. I wouldn't mind watching that. I do. You said something about draft day last year, and I played. I would have watched it, but Kylie didn't watch it, so it threw me off. So I'm blaming her. So since Kylie didn't do it, it threw my whole shit off, country. Kylie, please watch draft day, please.
I wish I could find. I wish I could find the Therese and Charles Robinson podcast where they watched it and broke it down. I wish I could find that audio. I'd rather you listen to that than actually watch the movie.
Yeah, because
Because Therese is
you already
hilarious.
told us the movie ain't that good, and I'd rather hear Teresa's voice. So yeah, maybe you need to do that. Send that.
I'm gonna find that. We gonna find that. I'm gonna ask around. I'm gonna find that because that was hilarious. You know, and just to hear Therese voices, you know, that's a plus all by itself. So
Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard to find. And like, look, like you mentioned it the other day, country. You know, I saw you shout Perez the other day, and like, so we still miss him, man. Like, especially around this time of the year, man. Like, the All Juice team, and shout out to Charles Robinson for keeping that alive. Doing it to the best of his ability, but how Perez would do it. So,
how many years in a row did we pick somebody off the Juice team?
it was about five. About
Something
5
like
years in a
that.
row? Yeah, it was something like that. But so let.
You guys want to take a quick? I don't. Oh, Charles, Chuck, I don't want to throw you off, but you guys want to take a quick look at the All Juice team?
Yeah. Let's talk. We'll talk about that for a bit before we go into the main topics.
All right, sure. I'll pull it up. Also, I did just find that podcast that you were asking about.
Damn, you didn't even move your hands. How did you do that?
No,
I put that in the group chat, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it in the group chat so we can look at it. But
Bro, he didn't even move. How did he do it?
all right, so this is the offense for the All Juice team.
Who's that? Caleb. Yeah.
Okay.
Who's that dude? Oh, okay, Lad. Christian Haynes. That's not bad. Not bad.
So
They got a few targets for the Chiefs.
Out of these players, who do you think fits the Chiefs the most?
Ooh, the most?
Yeah. At our position, of course, where we at. I know we can't get Marvin Harrison and Caleb, of course, but
so I will piggyback off of what we did on Tell the Truth. We had Daniel Harms on from RGR Football, and he talked about how much he loved Amarius Mims. And he's raw. He does not have that much tape, but what he puts on tape is a natural feel for the position, his ability to pass protect. He has all the athleticism and length the Chiefs would want out of a left tackle. He's a guy that even though he played right tackle in college, he could easily flip over. And he would be a guy you would take in the first round that I think that certainly would fit from that perspective. I think that Ladd fits. I truly do. Like Ladd has moved up to where if you take him in the first round, I'm going to be happy with that pick because he's going to separate. He could play inside, he play outside, in my opinion. I'm good with that. And then a guy that's further down the board, Jalen Coker from Holy Cross. Let's say that you go with a smaller wide receiver with your early pick and you want to take Jalen Coker on day 3. 6'3", 172, and he can play outside. That kid has all the talent in the world to develop as a wide receiver. You just got to teach him a thing or two.
D-Mac, who would you compare Ladd to? Julian Edelman?
No, I've compared. I
couldn't help myself.
I know.
No, I'm laughing because about a week ago we was in a group chat and D-Bag was like, "Please don't compare him to any more white ones."
I've heard this, and I believe it was Nate Tice. I don't want to misquote him, but I believe it was Nate Tice. He compared him specifically to Emmanuel Sanders, and I think it's a perfect comparison. A little bit of the slender fame. Emmanuel Sanders is a little bit shorter, but Ladd's a little bit longer. That's fine. That actually works more in Ladd's work. He has the ability to threaten deep, and because of the way that he breaks off cornerbacks, because of his deep speed, they can't stay with him. So his ability to separate. He is a high-end number 2, very low-end number 1 kind of profile, and that's where Emmanuel Sanders pretty much made his living. So that's where I would see Lad McConkey as a guy like Emmanuel that can play inside, outside. It's going to separate no matter what. Is tough at the catch point, going to get the job done. A little bit slender, but all that considered.
Yeah, and like I've been watching Steve Smith content when it comes to wide receivers. I feel like he's the most knowledgeable on this subject. But I do agree with you, D-Mac, that we can kind of start getting away from comparing wide receivers to other wide receivers, moving forward, especially with this guy, McConkey, because I know Smitty was breaking it down, and he was saying, like, McConkey's like a faster version of Hunter Renfro. And then my guy, Coley, who's like the co-host of that show, he pushed back on it. He was like, this is not your ordinary white traditional wide receiver. He's not Julian Edelman. He's not Wes Welker. Like, this guy is different. So
yeah,
I definitely more towards the Emmanuel Sanders.
I don't want to, like, obviously Steve Smith has forgotten more about football than I will ever know. It's certainly more than I will ever know about playing wide receiver, but I rolled my eyes at the comparison because it's not apt. Hunter Renfro couldn't dream of having Lad McConkey's athleticism.
Exactly.
That's just a reality of the situation. So,
and that's how I saw it.
He's still a free agent too, ain't he?
Hunter, yes, he is. Go ahead, Book.
Yeah, I think he is.
Another question for y'all about Mims. Do y'all think we can get him at 32 or what? And
he's definitely an option.
Piggyback on that too, Chuck. If we get him, would you have him starting over Wanye Morris for all three of y'all?
Yes.
See, this is my fault, D-Mac. Go ahead. You go ahead and I'll go after.
No, I was going to say yes, and then if he went to 32, he would need to fall a little bit rather than he just be there at 32. Oh. Or you trade up and get him a little bit. But he could be somebody that you only have to trade up a fourth or, your third from 2025 to go up and get somewhere in the 20s compared to Troy Fontenot or Olu Fonashanu, who are guys that would go in the teens, and you got to trade up the second or the first for next year would be the comparison I would make. Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah, and my thing is just like, if we do draft Amarius Mims, like, Harms broke it down on Tell the Truth, saying that he could play both sides of the line. And I was just interested, like, are you really going to switch him over to that left tackle again his rookie year when he recently played right tackle to end his college career? Or are you in the belief of when we was talking about Jawan Taylor signing here, how he could play both sides of the line? But you saw throughout the course of the season, he improved as a right tackle. Once he got past the penalties and I guess getting picked on in a sense, once he got past all that, he got much better through the end of the year. So, like, I'm just interested how that would play out. Like, which guy would you put on that left side then if you were to do that?
I would put Mims on the left side. I would go through whatever growing pains that you want to live with and just say, hey, this is a guy that hasn't played all that much right tackle. I know I can teach him as far as footwork is concerned. He has the natural ability. And I'd say let's just start his process and have him as the left tackle moving forward and go on from there. I don't think that Amarius Mims from day one will be any worse than what Donovan Smith was last year in the Super Bowl or last year throughout the beginning portion of the season, or what, Wanye Morris was when he had to step in as well. I think that would be the floor of Amarius Mims with Andy Heck's teaching for the, offseason at left tackle, in my opinion. So
how do y'all feel about Kansas City Chiefs were interested in Andre Dillard prior to them signing? He signed with the Packers, right?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a little bit of the just visits, because I think Dillard would have been a guy that you could interestingly bring in as a developmental tackle, but I don't know how much they would have wanted to do that. But it could be leverage against Donovan Smith. It could be just trying to gain information. It could be a multitude of different things. But they still think I still think they're going to sign a tackle. So whether it's Donovan Smith or whoever, or maybe Mekhi Becton is a guy that people really like as an option. So. Just bringing in guys as far as tackle.
It's like, I don't know.
What do you do with Wanye in this scenario? Are you teaching him how to be a swing guy? Is he a super backup in this?
Yep, he's a swing. And look, when you're talking about third round tackles, realistically, you're talking about swing tackles to begin with, and a guy that maybe could grow into more, but realistically, he's probably going to end up being a swing tackle. That's what Luke Niang essentially has been. That's what Wanye Morris essentially probably will be. So.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
My fault, D-Mac. Wanye should take Niang's all his snaps. Let's get him out of here this year, respectfully. Let's move on. We got Wanye to be our swing. I think it was smart for the Chiefs to look at a veteran tackle because, like you said, we always have a veteran tackle. And if you go draft a tackle, if we're not going to get a franchise tackle in the first round, you really come to taking a chance, you might as well go get a veteran tackle for now. Let him chill for a little bit. I mean, that's how I feel. I don't think it would be smart to move Jawan Taylor either to left tackle because for the reasons y'all just said, if he's finally getting it to y'all at right tackle, you don't want to switch him to left tackle now and have to learn a whole new position over. So I think we do need a veteran left tackle with Mahomes. I didn't see enough out of Wanye Morris to feel comfortable with him starting. I would like a left tackle in the first round if possible, but that's me.
And my thing is this: like the way the Chiefs have approached free agency, I just don't know if they're gonna sign a left tackle as a veteran because I feel like the options are getting thin. Like I really ain't really seen an indicator of them even considering bringing back Donovan Smith or them considering other options. I mean, I kind of feel like for this draft for this first round, I feel like they're gonna try to find a starting left tackle right then and there. That's what I feel like.
I think it's the same thing that it was kind of last year, but also what we saw with Mike Dana after the Snead signing. I think they know that they can go inside Donovan Smith whenever they want to. So whether it is after the draft, and even if I think that they draft one in the first round, they can go out and get him because, like Boogie said, I think that you can have Wanye as your primary kind of swing guy and develop him as right, and then have Donovan Smith there, and you can dangle Niang as far as trade bait going into to training camp and see what ends up happening from that perspective. So. And there is something that also has been talked about, possibly Ranier kicking inside and developing from that perspective as possibly a guard. Again, he plays a whole lot of power. That is an option, certainly. So all of those things come on the table from that perspective. But again, the right guy has to fall in the range. And Amarius Mims, I would say, as far as the tackles are concerned, because I've cooled off on Tyler Guyton being a first-round tackle. J.C. Latham, that guy seems like he's going to go high. Same with Faraga, same with Troy, same with Olu. It seems like Amarius Mims would be the guy that is more likely to fall into range from that perspective. And in my opinion, it'd be a little rich for Kingsley Suamataia. But that's a different conversation as well.
I think I disagree with you on that. I think Kingsley Suamataia will be there at pick 32. And me personally, I think he'll be. Yeah, I think that's the guy for me. That's my guy personally to be the cornerstone left tackle because some people should already know by now he's the cousin of Penei Sewell. But besides that, he has even better measurables than what Penei Sewell had, coming to the draft and stuff. And like just some of the things that I like with Kingsley, just some of the stuff I saw, like the thing that stood out to me when I watched this film is that he knows how to use his left hand to, swipe down and get guys down to the ground as far as defensive ends are concerned. Now, the speed rushes in the NFL, that could be an adjustment I have to make because guys are quicker at getting off the ball in the NFL as far as DNs go. But I didn't really see many negatives with him. You know what I'm saying? Like the main thing that's negative about him so far is that he has a tendency to play a little upright at times, and that's when he's at a disadvantage. But other than that, man, the kids, I like his ability to pass protect. I like his ability in the run game, especially for what we do, because as everyone knows, Andy Reid loves running out of the shotgun when it comes to handing the ball off. So, the power gap schemes.
About that, don't tell the truth.
Yeah. So,
Chuck, does he give you Orlando Brown vibes though?
No.
No, I didn't see Orlando Brown when I saw him play. Honestly,
he's a much better mover than Orlando Brown. He's also shorter, a little bit smaller from that perspective. The thing about Kingsley is this, and I don't. If you were to take Kingsley and not start him day one, I don't think that his athleticism and length is so overwhelmingly great that he would be worth that high of an investment for a quote-unquote developmental tackle. Now, I'm not saying that the Chiefs feel that way. They may feel like you do, Chuck, where they're going to take him. He's a franchise tackle. He's starting from day one, etc. That's the thing from their perspective. But in my opinion, if you're taking him, he's got to sit for a little bit and learn some things before I'm ready to necessarily throw him out there and protect the blind side. So that's where I'm kind of like, it's a little rich for me from that perspective when I could take a guy like Ladd or Xavier Worthy or whoever wide receiver falls into that 32 range where I feel good, or I could trade back, get some extra value and some day two picks, which is another path that they could take as well.
I think
sure.
my fault. Real quick, Chuck. I think that Wanye point that you made earlier, that's a good point because Trey Smith, we all agree, is not going to be here next year. So that would be pretty good if you can start getting him some reps on the inside. Did Wanye do any college inside?
I would have to double check. I don't believe so.
I know he was at Tennessee. He played on the right side in the beginning.
He played on the right side.
He was at Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chuck? Not inside at all, Chuck?
Nah, I didn't see him play inside from my memory.
Not from mine either.
But to go back to your point, D-Mac, I think Kingsley under this coaching staff under Andy Hick, I think he's a quick learner, and I think he'll be ready to go week one. That's just me personally. So, we can agree to disagree on it, but that's just how I see it. So,
and Wanye played a little bit as a freshman as a guard, but it was 4 snaps, so it's nothing really significant. But again, I do think that his power can translate inside if you choose to.
But I know I see the comments about wide receiver. I know Max is more of wide receiver lane for the first round, and I'm with it. Like it's either Kingsley or Ladd McConkey for me for pick 32 if they there. That's where I'm looking at right now. And I want to hear for Country because Country is kind of out on Ladd all of a sudden. So why are you kind of out on Ladd all of a sudden?
I've never been. I've never been in.
I was gonna say he was never. Yeah, that was never his cup of tea.
Yeah, I never was in on Ladd. I don't like his name.
What the hell? His name. It's about what you see on the field. What the hell his name got to do with it?
He don't have a football. He don't have a football name to me, bro. I just can't do it.
He don't have a football name. What the hell?
He don't, bro.
What the hell? Listen, man. Ladd got a big understanding of the game from what I've seen. Like we done seen time and time again when Georgia needs a third down conversion and defenses are keyed up on Brock Bowers. He be coming through. He knows how to run routes. He sometimes doesn't use his hands at the top of the route, but he knows how to sell the route and get defenders off balance. And he has great hands. And D-Mac already mentioned his athleticism is different from a lot of wide receivers we have seen. So
see, why you gotta go immediately there? They don't have no problem.
I said you know why I said that because that comment right there. You know why?
Right. I don't have no problem with white wide receivers. I don't know that many.
He got a lot of no problem with he ain't got no problem with white receivers, man.
No. He's a great lad,
He's a great lad.
Tez Walker. Tez Walker, he's kind of raw. He'd be a guy that will have to sit for a year and had limited reps because, like, on the routes when he was doing like them little comebacks or them stop routes, he kept drifting back and kept opening the door for DBs to come break in and get interceptions. So, that would be something that Tez would have to work on. But the kid is talented. He just needs a little more toolage. I think he would go to like a coaching staff. Let's say Washington. They got Bobby Ingram as a wide receiver coach. And if you guys remember, Jeremy Maclin mentioned on the podcast that when Ingram was on Philly's coaching staff, he had the best season of his career. So I think Tez would work in Washington. Like he needs somebody like that to get him.
Yeah,
to unlock his skills.
Tez falls into kind of the third round range for me. Him, Javon Baker, Jermaine Burton. If you're taking any one of those 3 guys in the third round, if something great happens for you in the first or second round, then I completely understand it from that perspective. And for whatever reason you don't have another wide receiver, or you take one high and you're like, oh well, I kind of we took offensive tackle in the second round. I want to double down because this guy's falling, and you want to go third there. I understand it. So that would be the range for me as far as Tez is concerned, because there are things that you have to teach him as well and get him some more experience with. And he is more of an outside wide receiver than he is going to be a more versatile wide receiver, and that's to be taken into account. But look, the profile is there for him to grow into a really good guy. So.
Yeah, I think Tez is like mid-round pick, third round and below. That's what I'll say for him.
So we got 3 top 100 picks, right? 32, 64, 95.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay. Are you set on your order? How set are you in your order of offensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive line, Is that your order?
Yeah, that's my order. I mean, based on the mock draft we doing right now, as far as like which players will land with the Chiefs. Yeah, I've said offensive tackle and wide receiver for the first 2 picks. So third rounder, it'll likely be a defensive end or a defensive lineman. It just depends on the board for the third round, but yeah, that's pretty much my order so far.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends if you can get extra day 2 picks, and I think things can kind of switch around of where you want to go with, and obviously like how the board falls from that perspective as well. Um, but I mean, it's I think offensive tackle, wide receiver, flip flop as far as the first 2 picks. It's where I generally feel like. But again, I'm not rigid as far as you take the board at its value, and I think we're in a strong position where we can take the board at its value because of how the positions are falling out in this draft, and obviously how strong our roster is. But I mean, you get into day 2 and then you start talking about cornerback. I think you start talking about it really more in the third round. Interior offensive line comes into play. I think second or third round defensive line comes into play as well. So that's where you start getting a little bit more flexible as far as that's concerned. But as far as the first round, and we talked about this right on Tell the Truth about Daniel Harms really liking Kool-Aid McKinstry being a day 1 starter to replace what L'Jarius Sneed brought to the table. It would be tough for me to not see that first pick being an offensive tackle or wide receiver.
Yeah, I saw the AD Mitchell question. I haven't really looked into that too deeply. It's just been some rumors in regards to AD and like people bringing his stock down. Like I don't know why.
It sounds like foolishness. If
Yeah.
that means that AD Mitchell gets the 32, I would run the pick up and be very happy about it. So that's
Who
my
did he
thought.
piss off this week?
You said what?
I said, who did he piss off this week?
I have no idea, bro. But I know this: if AD Mitchell somehow gets out of the first round and we're in a position to trade up in the second round, I mean, I don't see how it couldn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're the type of team that if that looks into guys that have these so-called character issues, and the crazy part is they ain't really specifically gone down to why he has these character issues. It's just rumors. It's just
Because
nothing
his
to
blood
really.
sugar be low and he'd get angry. Yeah, which is like
They don't exist. As far as I'm concerned, they don't exist. Now, there are some things as far as his tape of him taking routes off and things of that nature, and those are concerns, and I won't ignore those. But his character, yeah, I doubt that those are real issues.
And he does catch with his body quite often. I mean, that'd be something I have to work on, not try to catch with his body as much, but that's another thing.
So, do y'all really think receiver with Brown and Rice right now, y'all think we still need to go receiver in the first 2 rounds?
I think we can. I think we can't give him the situation because like Rasheed Rice, we don't know the length of the suspension. Like it could be from 4 games to 8 games within that range. Like we don't know what's going to happen with this situation. So, I mean, just for like insurance, I think we could use one of these first 2 picks to get a wide receiver, and because like there's still a bunch of question marks in the rest of the receiver core. You know what I'm saying? Like Remigio, he's coming back from injury. We don't know what he's gonna be. Justin Ross, that hasn't really worked out so far. Sky Moore, that hasn't really worked out. I mean, just KT, like it's a lot of question marks.
To me, and this has nothing to do with Rasheed Rice's suspension because I already thought wide receiver was this high of a priority, but Hollywood Brown is still on a 1-year deal, and you have to take that into account. Even though I think that Hollywood Brown is going to have a very good year here, you have to think about the future of this. And I think wide receiver is a position that you should be taking a guy within the first 3 rounds just consistently anyway, because you're looking for cheap guys that continue to rotate in, and because wide receiver is going to consistently be a position that's going to have some value as far as the first 2 days are concerned, at least from my perspective. So keep taking them. Just keep taking your shots. Sky Moore obviously doesn't seem like it worked out fine. Took Rasheed Rice, seems like it worked out pretty well. Keep taking your shots as far as I'm concerned. Just keep adding wide receiver targets, and you have to keep taking these shots because eventually you're going to have to replace the value that Travis Kelce brings to that passing game. And so just keep taking your shots early in the draft as far as wide receiver is concerned. It doesn't necessarily have to do with Rasheed Rice, but just the future of the position and specifically what they could get this year as well if you pick the right guy.
So are you taking multiple wide receivers in this draft?
Sure, or it falls that way. Like, I mean, look, I really like Anthony Gold late, Jalen Coker, like we just talked about, as a guy late that you could take. If a guy falls into the 4th round that probably shouldn't be there, if Jermaine Burton falls there, by all means, take him, because I think that kid has probably round 2 talent, but of course there's character stuff, and that's going to push him down the board, and that's fine. Again, but there are other needs. So interior offensive line, cornerback, defensive line, etc. Those things come into play. Running back, a little bit further down. So those things all have to come into consideration. Defensive back, Beach can take his day 3 DB. So it depends on how it falls out. But yeah, I would not be afraid to take multiple wide receivers at all. Even if, they want to try and still make Kadarius Toney a thing, I
think that's definitely a thing still, bro. I'm not saying I agree with it, but when you
I can't disagree with that.
Comments,
yeah.
And he talking like that, he still think he might be like I'm paraphrasing, one of the most talented players on the team. Like, we getting another year at KT, man.
It's like, look, he down there in Texas now working with Pat and them, so he's gonna be part of the team. It looks like. We'll see what happens.
How many receivers are we gonna keep this year? Realistically,
I don't know.
We're not doing 7 no more. That's dead.
I don't know.
It'll be 6 max, and that depends on who earns the spot. I mean, it all come down to that. But look, if KT makes it to training camp, then maybe the best things that, and I'm not even gonna say that. But look, let him compete, and if he doesn't make it, he doesn't make it. It is what it is. But they shouldn't be handing Kadarius Toney a job. I think that's malpractice as far as I'm concerned. You want to take another wide receiver in this draft, let him compete, because that goes with Sky Moore too. And I still believe that there's a slot wide receiver, Sky Moore, that could develop. Let him compete. They got to earn the spot this year. You did that BS last year of giving them the spot. No, they got to earn it this year, because we can't go through what we did last year. You already got Rashee Rice, who's probably going to miss the start of the season. You got to take that into account. You know what Hollywood Brown's going to bring to the table. You have, an option in Justin Watson that probably should be your wide receiver 4, but he might be pushed up just to start out. Let these guys compete and earn their spots is my only thing. Don't hand them anything.
What's the room right now? What's the room right now? So KT, Sky, Watson, Nico, Brown. Who else they got?
I mean, Ross is there.
Ross.
And Rice.
Is Cornell Powell still there on the practice squad?
He is still there. Yeah.
Cornell.
He's Cornell Powell.
Man, you gotta be a real Chiefs fan to know these names, man.
Anthony Miller's still there. Anthony
Miller's still there.
Malik Washington. Still there. They won't cut Sky before KT, because Sky has 2 years left on his deal and KT only has 1.
Y'all just want him to cut Sky. Stop it, man. Damn.
Sky bouncing back, man.
I want him to cut
Sky gonna come back this year, man. The sky's the limit.
I want him to cut KT. I will put it on record. I have no issues about it.
You are just so over KT. It's just
I don't blame you.
He's never been a real wide receiver. He wasn't one last year. I don't know what do you want him to do? Return punts for 2 games and then he gets hurt? What's the point?
I'm with you with KT, bro. I'm with Andy Reid. I think he's talented, but it's to this point, bro. I done seen enough, man. It's not even the talent. It's not even just the character issues. He can't stay healthy either. It's like you add all this shit together, and it's like, is it really worth it? Well, we could just go get, and I don't even like McCole, but you could just have McCole, who is going to be here and do the same type of production. He go fuck up and stuff too, but at least we know he'll play. That's funny as hell. That's funny as a motherfucker, but I'm just saying, man.
He can
play. It's just he comes up to the plate and he already got 3 strikes, and it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's my
character issues, injuries, attitude, off the field stuff.
I ain't gonna lie, that playoff shit, it still fuck with me. That's just me personally. When he said that little shit in the playoffs, I would have cut him right there.
You talking about Super Bowl media night?
Yeah, like that shit.
Yeah,
it should have been cut.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I already told y'all how I feel about it, but we also had this similar conversation about CEH last year, missing the parade, doing the fashion show thing. He should be gone. We should replace him with the running back room, and we see how.
What you was about to say, D-Mac? I'm sorry.
No, that he came back in the running back room and did provide a depth running back value to this team last year. And so, you know how much this team loves its reclamation projects. Again, I personally would be like, this guy's not a real wide receiver. He's never been a real wide receiver. He can't stay healthy. And even if he returns things, he can't stay healthy. I don't see any point of him being on this team, but it is what it is.
I respect Clyde, bro,
Clyde had Clyde came out and explained the situation, and I wouldn't say he apologized, but he kind of gave some background information to the situation. KT hasn't been either KT hasn't been allowed to do that, or he hasn't chosen to do that. Because I mean, if you leak the thing on your IG, you can leak out an apology too.
Bro, Clyde apologized, and that's all cool. Explaining whatever, that's fine. I'm talking about on the field, we could have improved that position. Plenty
and they
of
should.
options we could have improved.
They still can.
They still should improve that.
Yeah, but
speaking of missing out on J.K. Dobbins,
running backs and Pacheco.
What'd you say? Sorry.
How else are we gonna be able to improve that position? Draft?
Oh, in the draft. Yeah, in draft.
Oh, the draft. Yeah, we definitely gonna get a running back in the draft, I think. And speaking of running backs, like, do y'all think a running back's gonna get drafted in the first round at all in this draft?
No. They will not in the first round. They may not even go in the second round. They probably will go in the second round, but they may not even go in the second round.
Hey, if you ain't OJ Simpson, man, if you ain't that type of running back, we don't need you in the first round, man.
Hey, listen, OJ was a damn good football player.
You could have said anybody, but you said OJ.
You could have said Marcus Allen.
Hey, OJ was a damn good running back, man. Y'all can't deny that.
Could have said anybody.
What running back do you? Man, you threw me off with that OJ Simpson, man. God damn.
All right, so we've talked about for the first round. Wait a minute. For the first round so far, we talked about Marius Mims, we talked about Kingsley Su'Mataya, we talked about Ladd McConkey. Like, are there any other guys that could be there for us in the scenario with pick 32 that's going to be there that we can get?
Oh, the wide receivers, Xavier Worthy, Aiden Mitchell.
Realistically,
country loves Keon Coleman.
I don't even want to mention Keon Coleman no more. I'm giving up. I'm over.
Xavier Legette is going to be an option there that continues to get mocked as well. Go ahead.
I want to talk about him, y'all. What do y'all feel about him, getting him in the second round? Do you think I was talking to somebody today and they said they thought that would be kind of more the Rashee Rice type of receiver, that you probably don't want two of those type of receivers? Do y'all feel that same way about him or what?
To my Xavier Legette?
Yes.
Yeah.
For what? The thing with Xavier is this, like, we know that him and Rashid, they both could play outside and inside, but I think Legette is definitely more the outside guy. I've been seeing comparisons with him between like DK Metcalf and AJ Brown for the most part, given the right situation. And when you watch him play, he kind of plays like that. Big body wide receiver, strong, go up, get the ball, run to the catch, strong with the ball, run to the catch. My thing is this: I wouldn't mind Xavier Legette here because I feel like he could be one of the best receivers out of this draft class. Personally, I just don't know if he's going to be there for us. I feel like somebody in the 20s is going to draft Xavier Legette. I mean, that's just how I feel about it.
So you do think he is going in the first round? Because I seen a mock with him going in the second round. That's why I was asking.
I think he's a late first rounder.
Okay. Last question.
Yeah, he shouldn't be taken in the first round, in my opinion, but somebody could fall in love with his athleticism. On day 2, I'm fine with it because there are ways in which you can use him as a boundary wide receiver. You can teach him things as far as in breakers are concerned, and he does have enough juice and space that you can do things from a versatile wide receiver perspective. So there are aspects in which I'd be fine with it. There's a little bit of how you're going to use him and Rashee Rice that needs to be worked out. I will certainly say that. And look, that's a part of whatever Rashee Rice's developmental path is going to look like here and how the Chiefs feel about him certainly too. So those things have to come into consideration. He's not my favorite day 2 wide receiver, but he is a guy that I'd be fine with on the second round.
But you for sure know in the first round, 32, right?
No, I think that'd be too rich for him.
Okay. You too, Chuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
And D-Mac, I want to go back to you mentioning Jalen Coker. He's definitely a sleeper in this draft. Like, I seen some people say that he may have the best hands in this draft class. I mean, not the best hands, but he may be the best route runner in this draft class.
No.
I mean, that's some of the things I've seen. So
That man, no, he's extremely raw. He's played at Holy Cross, so there are a lot of things from a jump up in competition that's going to have to be taught. But he's got all the athleticism in the world. He's more of a boundary guy. You got to say that. So he's, if you get to the fifth, round, maybe sixth round, and you that was a good one. If you get to fifth or the sixth round and you want to teach him those things, I think that's perfectly fine. But yeah, Jalen Coker, I think you could certainly define him as a sleeper in this class, because if he develops at an extremely high level, then you're talking about a guy that can really be a strong number 2 wide receiver in this league. So
can we I'm sorry, was you done, Demon? I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. Yeah, you good.
Can we debunk the trading up to number 9 to get a tight end? Can we kill that right now?
Trading up to number 9.
It's not happening. It's not happening, man. Like the NFL.com report or whatever that came out. No, just hang it up right now.
Yeah, he was just a thought experiment. It's not
exactly.
The highest this team realistically can go, in my opinion, is 16 to Seattle. And that will be very costly to make happen. And in my opinion, that would be something that you would only do for a left tackle. So that would be my personal feelings on that. But yeah, you're not going anywhere near the top 10. It's just not. It's not happening.
So D-Mac, to piggyback on that. You had did like a little trade scenario to where you would trade up in this draft class. I know earlier today you was talking about trading up for Troy Fashanu. I hope I pronounced his name right, for Washington.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then there's also another scenario, like if you talk about trading from Seattle for 16, do you think Olu Fashanu from Penn State would be there?
Yeah, so those are the two guys that if you were going to trade up, that you would do that for, because I think Olu, in my personal opinion, is the best tackle in this class. I think he's better than Joe Alt. That's how much I do love him. If there's a chance that he falls there, again, kind of difficult. The Saints are going to take a tackle. The chance the Jets to take a tackle, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be going after him. But either one of those guys, if you wanted to trade up and get him at 16, as much it would cost, I would understand that perspective, because you lock in what you think is going to be your franchise left tackle for a decade plus. So both of those guys, I think, would be worthy of that pick and the draft capital necessarily to go do it. And the fact that you have the extra 3rd round pick next year makes it so that you could possibly spare your 1st or 2nd, whatever it need to do, pick swaps, etc., to make it happen.
Olu's definitely my guy too, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I love it.
If we were to do that, so I'll be happy.
Well, how does that affect the rest of your holes? Are you still going to be able to fill the rest of?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Relax. Slow it down.
Wait, what just happened? What in the world just happened? What in the world just happened?
That was crazy, dog.
Damn.
Oh man.
Come on, man. No Diddy, man. Hold on, man. You got to get this together. So,
how do you feel the rest of your areas of need with trading up? How does that affect you? Or I don't even want to ask the question no more.
Timestamp somebody for me. Timestamp 43.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Coach.
That was I was. I'm sorry. I'm getting.
So anyway, T'Vondre Sweat. What? Oh, man.
Right, yeah, let's settle down.
Okay. So, who would make you ignore a wide receiver on the defensive line? Is there anybody up there that you would say, I'd rather grab? I got to grab this talent right here. Pause. That I would deny. I can't even talk no more right now. Please help me, D.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that would make you push wide receiver back?
Well,
So
since we're here, we might as well pull this up and take a look at the all juice defensive side of
yes,
the team.
sir.
Yes, and there's one guy on this team that possibly could make you want to do this. So go ahead, Chuck.
I'm about to
Um,
block Quinn. I'm just letting y'all know.
Nah, but if you talking about defensive players, Chip Robinson. I mean, that's for one for defensive line depth. If we talking about guys off of this list, so I mean that's the guy that stood out for me. Just looking at this graph right here. But if we didn't have the safety depth that we have currently, I would have pounded the table for Tyler Newman out of Minnesota. He just looks like a future All Pro player to me at the safety position. So
Question for
I just want to
all
throw that
y'all.
out there.
Why is
Go ahead.
pass rush? I know why, but why is pass rush more of a weakness on the outside than in the inside? Even though we use Chris Jones on the outside and the inside, I know Charles is coming off that injury, but he'll be inside and outside too. Mike Dana's inside and outside too. So are we just trying to make sure everybody is versatile, or are we just trying to get DN help? Because to me, we need more help in the inside interior next to Chris Jones when he's in the interior. I've been
Yeah,
Yeah,
saying about 90 getting replaced respectfully for a couple years. So I would like more inside help, but it seems like it's always the DN help that we're allegedly looking into.
yeah, I'd agree with you on that. I think that as far as that's concerned, I think you should be going after interior help a little bit more, certainly from a long term perspective as well. And that's why I brought up this because Johnny Newton is a guy out of Illinois that a lot of people do like and have a lot of first round grades on as far as what he can bring from the interior pass rush is concerned. Long term, I mean, look, you got Dana for 3 years, you got Felix, you got George. I think you're fine at edge long term as far as that's concerned. I think that you do need to look for a guy that actually can be a pass rusher or a starter next to Chris Jones long term, in my opinion, from that perspective. Now, me personally, I don't love Newton's fit with Chris Jones because he's a little bit more of a gap penetrator, and that's a little bit of a clashing of the heads of the way that you would build your interior. But again, I think he's so good that it may not matter. As far as defense in general in the first round, I don't think that any of the edges would make me want to do that. Even though I really like Chop Robinson, he's just really going to be a designated pass rusher, and I think that'd be too rich for him. Again, we talked about corner as possibly an option as well. It's tough to see, but it could be possible. But that's my general feeling as far as defense is concerned. Now, look, it's not going to happen. But if for some reason Byron Murphy's at 32, then all bets are off. You take Byron Murphy, but I don't think that's going to happen.
And then also like another guy that I just saw on this chart. There's a guy that you're gonna like country because he's from Florida State. I seen him. I seen him kind of link the Chiefs in a sense. If we were to go cornerback at some point in this draft, Jerry Jones. I mean that might be an option. In the middle of the draft. If we were
D-Mac know how I feel about Jones.
so
Yeah. Yes, I do. No, look, Jerry Jones, hey, he certainly has it. I love his running mate, Ronaldo Green. We talked about this last night with Daniel Harms. He was a guy that I was watching an LSU game, and I'm like, yo, LSU guys are not having a good time versus Ronaldo Green. When you're playing that well against that type of competition, then that always makes me perk up. So Ronaldo Green's a guy third, fourth round that I would be excited to add to the team too. So those are those things. I'm trying to see somebody. I think it might have been PFF mock Mike Sarin still, the quarterback here on the team to the Chiefs in the first round. He's a slot, and no, you should never take a slot cornerback in the first round.
we already got a slot corner. Trent.
Mike is a dog. Mike is a guy that can have like 4 All Pros simply from that slot cornerback position alone in his future, truthfully, because he is that good at the position. But no, you're not taking that guy personally. Go ahead, Boogie.
I think based on what you just said, you just sold me on Mike though. Because with no Snead,
he's really good.
With no Snead, I thought we was all expecting Trent McDuffie to kick outside this year.
That's going to be the question mark of and this is a larger conversation about the entirety of the secondary room. What the Chiefs feel about their secondary room is going to be told in this draft. What type of corner, if they take one, especially if they take one in the third or second round, that's going to tell us a lot. how they feel about Watson, how they feel about Williams, how they feel about Najee Johnson, where they feel like Najee Johnson is going to be a little bit more of a safety, how they feel about Brian Cook coming back, how they
Connor.
feel without Mike Edwards, exactly, where Shamari Carter, if they feel like he's going to play more exclusively inside and they need a guy that's going to be a little bit more of a safety. Where's Trent going to do? All of those things are going to be totally been drafted, in my opinion, by what they choose to invest in long term with their draft pick. So there's a lot of answers that still need to be had, because the thing about having such a versatile DB room is we don't know where they think they want to play these guys, but that's also kind of the beauty of Spags defense is they can kind of play everywhere. But they'll add some talent there. There are a lot of guys that can be added to this room, in my opinion. Certainly, Max Melton is a guy that I took earlier in a mock draft that I love. He's got all the versatility in the world, physicality, length, good athleticism. He's a guy that's probably going to be in the second round, so you got to be a little bit expensive to go get him. I've talked about Ronaldo Green, Richardson out of Texas A&M, and I can't remember his first name. Cameron, there it is. Richardson out of Mississippi State. My bad. Another good cornerback. Again, length, athleticism, exactly what you're looking for from that perspective. So, yeah. And then also, Country, I don't know. You were going to make a point there, Country. I think you wanted to.
Oh no. I was gonna say if you went Texas and Florida State the entire draft, I think you would nail it.
So, of course, you would say that.
That's the Philadelphia Eagles, mantra.
It's going Georgia now, Jack.
Just go ahead. I'll also show you, because you did end up asking. Well, you tried to ask, and then we went to a whole different thing about what this would look like. Kind of from a perspective of if you were to trade up in this scenario to go get them. So this would be an example of what your draft possibly could look like if you were to trade up and go get Olu at 16. Now, obviously, it's not necessarily the 2025 first. Maybe you could finagle it. Those things you have to play around with. Regardless, though, Fashanu, I think Polk is a guy that can be there 64 realistically. You go get your interior offensive lineman with Mahogany. You got to wait on defense. Like you're sacrificing a little bit of defense here, taking a guy like Josh Newton, who's still at TCU, I think has a really good profile as well that could help you out. You get a little bit of Anthony Gold there to help out and to supplement some speed to go along with Polk. And then Trey Taylor, who's a really versatile safety out of Air Force, who's a really good guy on day 3 to add to the secondary room too. So, those are – go ahead.
You chose to take 2 wide receivers over a tight end?
Yes. And you saw my tweet earlier today about not having a tight end in the top 100, because I don't know. I don't think that there is a tight end that will warrant passing up on more important positions and is good enough to justify a top 100 pick, in my opinion. Obviously, with Brock Bowers assumedly off the board. And also, I don't know if they really are going to take a tight end. We'll see. But it could happen. They still could definitely take one. It's more of a day 3 thing to me. And so we'll see.
Go ahead, Chuck.
And I was gonna say, like, in this scenario right here, I definitely love the first 3 picks because I think Polk is definitely a dog at wide receiver. I mean, he fits more of the profile of what we do in comparison to Jalen McMillan. Because I know somebody asked me about Jalen McMillan in this system, and I just feel like Polk, for what he does, I feel like he fits our system a little more than what McMillan does. And don't get me wrong, McMillan's a nice talent, but I would rather have Polk in that scenario.
Hey, I thought it was interesting. You said something about we're gonna know a lot about the secondary and the philosophy and stuff. And I see this dialogue on Twitter, and I agree with this. I think the Chiefs' philosophy, period, is gonna be different this year. Like last year, I think they really was like, we got the running game, we got the defense. We done lost a couple pieces on defense. I think this year we go back to trying to score 30 points, be explosive. So if you know you go do that, do you really need to be taking as many defensive players so high?
Yeah, I don't think you do. I think there's I think that there's possibilities of where you want to sprinkle one in, whether it's cornerback, defensive line from that perspective. But if you came out of the first top 100 picks and they're all offensive players, I get it. I'm not gonna complain if you come out with tackle, wide receiver, 2 wide receivers if you so choose, an interior offensive lineman, etc. I completely understand why you go that route, because I think the value is there. First of all, I think this is an offense-heavy draft. And secondarily, to your point, they have done such a great job of building this defense. They've brought the pieces back as far as the defensive line is concerned. Sure, you can add a day 3 guy as far as DB is concerned into the secondary. Your second level is set as far as I'm concerned, because I really do like Cam Jones, what he brings to the table, stepping in as the 4th linebacker on this team. So yeah, attack offense, attack tight end, attack wide or tackle, attack wide receiver, attack the interior offensive line. That's where the value is in this draft. You should be doing that, especially early.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was on mute. And we do need to correct the fact that there were 6 times this past season, despite us winning the Super Bowl, there were 6 times this past season we didn't score a point in the second half. We didn't score a touchdown in the second half. So we definitely got to get that corrected for this season if we want a 3-peat.
And
that's
I
way
think
too
we're
many
moving
times.
in the right direction with that, Chuck. So far, I think we are. I think Hollywood is though, man. If he's healthy and Rasheed Rice doesn't get too big of a suspension, I definitely think we're gonna see a difference in the offense early. Like,
oh yeah, look, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, throughout the summer. But I truly do believe Hollywood Brown stepping in this team day 1 is going to change the face of it, because it just, from the simple fact of you have a guy that has speed and can run routes. You have not had that combination since Tyreek Hill.
We had
What?
We had MVS last year.
Hey, listen.
I hate how
Cincinnati
serious
Bengals-
Biggie's face is right now.
The fact that he can say that with a straight face,
With a
is
straight
amazing.
face is insane. I don't know how he said it with a straight face.
He's a
I'm
great
shocked.
actor,
It was
bro.
impressive, man.
Hey,
But yeah,
that Cincinnati Bengals player said he was Tyreek Hill out there at one time.
you sure did. You sure did. Jermaine Pat. Hey man, that's 10.
Shout out Jermaine.
Oh, man, shout out to Jermaine. I love Jermaine. Yelling
So,
at he
with
yelled
this
at
one with
old boy that
Xavier
pushed
Worthy-
Mahomes too, right? Didn't he? Sorry, go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe
Same
so.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
With this Xavier Worthy thing, I've been hearing he's dropping. I heard I'm bigger than him now. Are y'all comfortable with him? He seems like he would fit this system. Like, to me, he seems like
Wait a minute. How he don't get a pause on that? Come on now.
No, that was
How you skate past that?
That was fine. It was okay. It was close. It was
It was
close. But
Okay, okay.
Hey, we
Mine
got
was
you
blatant.
times,
Mine was
buddy.
blatant.
Don't worry about it. We on you. Don't even worry about it. So how do y'all feel about Xavier Worthy though?
Yeah, I mean, look, Xavier's in the group 32 after the whenever. It's fine with me too. And that's, he's taken here at 50. If he falls down the board, he falls down the board. I think there's a lot of volatility as far as the wide receivers are concerned when you get past the top 4. Like, somebody could fall in love with Xavier Legette and he goes ahead of A.D. Mitchell. Somebody could fall in love with Xavier Worthy and he goes ahead of Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey could go in 20, et cetera, et cetera. Those guys are all going to fall around there. Keon Coleman could go early. Ricky Pearsall could go early. Those things are all going to be mixed up from that perspective. So if Xavier Worthy is a guy that falls out in this specific scenario, you trade with the Eagles, a team that really loves, future picks, and they've taken advantage of that market inefficiency at times, and they're willing to, allow you to come up from 64 to 50 and give you another 10, I think it was 120 or whatever in that scenario. Yeah, take Xavier Worthy or whatever guy is there at 50, and then keep on rolling on with the rest of your draft. So those things are all a possibility, and if you come away with Xavier Worthy from a system perspective, absolutely. I mean, he's side of frame. You really concern him as far as press is concerned. There are a little bit of playing with, or I should say playing through the catch point, because sometimes DBs can be able to take the ball away from him. But all that speed, all that ability to separate, he absolutely fits the system. And he's a versatile wide receiver. He can play the XZ or the slot from that aspect. You can move him in and out. And I think that, people are going to be like, oh, it's a little redundant with Hollywood Brown. A, Hollywood Brown, again, still on a 1-year deal. And B, yeah, more speed is not going to kill you. And it's not like you're talking about it throwing out a 5'9" guy with that speed. No, he's 6'1". He can go up and get the ball. He does have the ability to track the ball deep. He's fine as far as the system is concerned. Anytime from 32 on, I'm cool with him.
Chuck, who do you compare Worthy to? A player now.
Yeah, I was about to get into it. I wouldn't mind Xavier Worthy, but I am a little bit more cautious than what I have been, and it's specifically because the only successful NFL wide receiver that ran the fastest time to combine within the past decade or so has been Santana Moss. And when you look at The other then we also look like Xavier Worthy's body fat. You know what I'm saying? He's one of like the lightest receivers of the recent decade coming out of the combine. And then you see like Deshaun Jackson on that list, and Deshaun Jackson was a little more heavier than him. So like either Xavier Worthy can be a top 5 wide receiver in this draft class and turn to it, make sure Santana Moss or Deshaun Jackson, or he might flame out like all the other wide receivers that ran like the fastest time to combine. So.
Yeah,
Didn't we get John Ross in quitting training camp?
Oh yeah, he was done.
That is true. Yeah,
He said, "I ain't got no more."
But John
I ain't got
was
no more.
cool before he got hurt.
Yeah, he had his games for sure. I remember that one game against Seattle. He went for 3 touchdowns and like close to 200 yards. It was something ridiculous.
He had 1,000, didn't he? 1 year before he got hurt.
No.
Nah, he was never a 1,000-yard wide receiver.
No,
Not John Ross.
He never came close.
You might be thinking of John Baldwin.
No, I'm not thinking about him.
Here's the thing, and I've looked at every one of those wide receivers that were at the top of the 40-time list. In my opinion, Xavier Worthy is miles better as a prospect than any of those guys, and yes, that includes Ross, because Ross still was not doing a whole lot of real wide receiver stuff in college, and Xavier Worthy has the ability in the short to intermediate to be a little bit more of a game changer from that aspect. Xavier Worthy, he has good enough hands. He tracks the ball down the field. His speed is special. He understands how to set up DBs and stack them. You combine all of those things, that means that he is a guy that is cool for me in 32 on into the second round. So that's where I fall on him. I would not be trading up for him in any way, shape, or form, because I think that's a little bit too much to sacrifice for, especially in this class where I think other wide receivers will fall. But I'd be perfectly fine with them in that range.
So, all right, here's the question everybody want to know. Who we going to jump Buffalo to get and break their hearts again? Like,
if it would be somebody, it would, because they don't need a tackle. If it was going to be somebody, it would be Brian Thomas Jr. If Brian Thomas Jr. got to 20, actually, wait, I did a mock draft about this earlier today. Hold on.
Yeah, you did it. You did it.
Hold on. I think I got one in here. Wait, no, that's the other one. Hold on. There we go. Here, there it is. Let's say Brian Thomas Jr. falls into range where he gets into the 20s. You want to go up and go get him. That would be the guy that break your heart, because the Buffalo Bills would be over the moon to get Brian Thomas Jr. So that would be the scenario in which you got and broke their hearts to do.
That was definitely the first name that came to my mind too. I said Brian Thomas Jr. for sure, and he's been linked to the Bills quite a bit. So,
and I wouldn't trade it for any other wide receiver but Brian Thomas Jr. in this kind of range. Otherwise, I'm good sticking at 32 and seeing what falls to me.
All right.
Anytime we can break Buffalo's heart, though, I'll jump at it.
They're pretty broke right now, man.
Yeah, for the moment. So let's go ahead and make the transition to like the offseason stuff that's been going on. Because Boogie was about to mention it for a little bit. The Chargers, they, Greg Roman's on their coaching staff now. Jim Harbaugh. They literally brought back the old Ravens running back group, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins on their running back group. So, what you think about doing something that's pretty much insanity?
They missed the best running back though.
Who do you think is the best one?
The one that's still there. Anyway, go ahead.
Eckler.
No, Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
he's gonna fall for it. He did
plus 100.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you
old country.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. I couldn't.
Nah, you good, man.
Dobbins. I mean, if you're injured, what is the worst team you want to go to if you've been injured multiple times?
Yeah, that organization. Hey, listen, Jim Harbaugh better have
I didn't even think of that.
Fam, Jim Harbaugh better have a better training staff. He better have a better training staff on that sideline.
I'm sorry, bro. It don't matter. It's just the Chargers organization, period. Something wrong. Something cursed there. Marty cursed them or something. But if I'm an injured running back coming off two bad little injuries, Chargers would be the last place I would want to go.
Dobbins should have came here, man. I'm still hot about that a little bit.
How much was he signed for? 1.2, something like that. What was it? What was the number on that?
It was like 1.2 million. Like
he was fairly cheap.
But yeah, look, man, Greg Roman getting all his old running backs, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins back. You know what they finna do over there?
Right.
No.
Finna put Justin Herbert on that J.J. McCarthy plan, man.
Right.
You can throw the ball 10 times a game. You pick and choose which ones you're gonna have.
Yeah. So stay away from Justin Herbert in fantasy drafts.
Oh man. Denver gonna mess around and get that quarterback, huh? J.J. McCarthy.
It might be.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it could be.
Like, it could be. It sounds like they really like Bo Nix, though.
I honestly think the Vikings gonna trade up and get Bo Nix because Josh McCown is the quarterback coach in Minnesota now, and Josh McCown, that was his coach in high school.
Wait a minute.
If they trade up and get Bo Nix, I would be so disappointed because it would be such a waste of everything they have there.
I mean, it would. But I'm just saying.
At least theoretically, J.J. McCarthy could, you could sit him a year and he could turn into somebody that can actually take advantage of his weapon. You would be just wasting so much time with Bo Nix. You would just, it would. I
agree.
You will be so visibly disappointed if that's what the Vikings choose to do in that case. I don't think that their GM is dumb enough to do that, but we'll see. I think the Vikings have the ammo to where they're sitting at 11 and they're saying, and J.K. McCarthy stuff is kind of crazy to me, but maybe it's their thing. I think they're sitting there saying, if there's a chance we can go up and somebody lets Jaden fall or lets Drake May fall, we'll go get him. And if not, we'll just stay and we'll take Penix. So be it. I think that's where they're sitting at, but we'll see.
How many quarterbacks y'all got in the first round?
But actually, hold on. I got the quarterbacks mixed up. I'm sorry. Drake May. I mean, it wouldn't trade for both Knicks. They would trade for Drake May. Drake May was Josh McCown's high school coach. So I had the quarterbacks mixed up. So my fault. My fault on that, guys.
How many quarterbacks you got
in that
going
case,
in the
I
first
think
round?
that would be an amazing pick for them. Sorry, go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, that's my fault.
No, how many quarterbacks y'all got going in the first round?
Quarterbacks. Shoot.
You got Caleb is a lot. May is a lot. Daniels is a lot.
The line should be at 5.5, and it's up to you if you think it's going to go under or over. Because you will see. Go ahead, Boogie.
I'll take the under. What y'all got?
I'm gonna. I'll take the under too. I think it'll be 5. I think it'll end at 5 in the first round.
I think it's reasonable.
Who's your 5? So Caleb,
Drake,
May,
JD,
Daniels,
JJ in the first round. Yeah. And then the question is, does either the AFC West teams really like Bo Nix or Michael Penix? Does somebody trade up in the first round and come up and try and get Bo Nix or Michael Penix? Does somebody take one of those guys earlier and then somebody has to come back later on and get one of those guys? Is Seattle interested in taking a quarterback? All those things coming. Are the Rams interested in going to take a quarterback? So all those things kind of come into play from that aspect. But so I would say the line should probably be 5.5, 5, 4.5-ish in that range. But I think 4 is a lock. You're probably going to get 5, and 6 is an outside possibility.
Yeah, I think Michael Penix will be the last quarterback taken in the first round, and then that'll be it. And I got a feeling that Penix may get drafted to the Raiders, and he'll sit behind Minshew for 1 year before he takes over.
So how enticed would you be to get that 5th year?
You said what, D-Man?
No, I was just saying I would be surprised if Penix lasted the whole year sitting behind Gardner Minshew. Go ahead, Country. I don't think that there's
how enticed would you be to. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I don't think there's a point in sitting Michael Penix Jr. He's too old, and he's a pocket passer. Just play him. There's no point in not playing him. Sorry, go ahead. Country, ask your question.
Yeah, I was saying if it's 5 and then Michael Penix is sitting there, how enticed would you be to move down for the right price?
If somebody wants to come to 32?
Yeah, if somebody wants to come to 32.
Yeah, I'd be very enticed. If I can move back into the from anywhere from the 35 to 45 range or even up to 50 based on what I get, yeah, I'd be very happy to do that.
I'm cool with that.
I need an extra day 2 pick in this draft though, but yeah,
For
I'd be
sure.
very happy to do that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, because it seems like, bro, it seems like everybody wants to trade up or trade, or it seems like, bro, it's a lot of talent in this draft. You don't really have to move mountains to get talent in this draft. It doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, and again, the talent is there to be had as far as day 2 is concerned, and specifically at the positions that we need. And there are analytical arguments, and I'll just save you guys the details of them. But there are analytical arguments for why trading back and getting that value really does matter. You know, that 35-ish to 50 range is really a sweet spot for contract value because it's not a first round contract and you're taking guys that generally are at higher premium positions and of higher talent at that aspect. And I think that specifically applies in this draft because of what we need and how that lines up with the depth at the top as far as this draft is concerned. So as far as trade backs are concerned, and that's why I did a few of them to this, not this year, earlier today, I would be very happy with that, certainly.
Yeah, so this is how I think it will play out for the quarterbacks. Caleb to Chicago, of course, and then Jaden McDaniel to Washington, and then like the Patriots do keep they picking number 3. I think they take JJ McCarthy, and then when the 4th pick comes around, I think the Vikings trade up to that 4th spot and they'll get Drake May. I think that's how the draft will start. Me personally, and then Michael Penix will go a little later in the first round.
I'm gonna pull up what I did. Well, so I was having fun, and I think I made it. I think I had all 6 going just for fun. But I had Caleb, Drake, Jaden, but I had the Vikings trading up to number 3 with the Patriots to go get Jay Daniels. I had JJ going to number 5 at the Patriots after they traded back up with the Chargers, who went back to 11, and then I had Bo Nix and Penix going back to back to the Broncos and Raiders. And while I think that's probably going to be an unrealistic scenario, all those guys going in the top 12, that's really rich, but, you know.
So, I mean, in this scenario, I mean, it might be the over then. In this case, if Bo Nix is really going to go in the first... if Bo Nix is really going to go to the Broncos in the first round, then, yeah, it's probably going to go over then. So, it'll probably go over that 5.5.
All right, so what team is going to make that move on Thursday?
I hope the Raiders. Shit.
I think, to me personally,
what are they doing, Mom? That every.
Me personally, man. I mean, it could be Arizona. I'm not even gonna hold you, like, cause they do trade out that 4th spot, and let's say they get number 11. I think they'll find a way to screw it up. And like another thing I'm looking forward to is Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. He's kind of in limbo now with the way things seem to be playing out.
Yeah, they trying too hard on that shit, Chuck.
No, I don't.
They trying to think too hard. They trying to make this shit way more complicated than it is. He's like that.
I mean, he's like that, but I just don't know where he's going to get selected within the top 10 picks.
I disagree from this perspective because I think that the Patriots are kind of, I believe, kind of in what the Patriots are thinking about in the way that they refigured their actual thing. I think that if the Patriots have Drake May available to them, they take him. If not, that they're trading out of 3, and that's the place that somebody goes up being a quarterback. I think the Cardinals are going to stick and pick Marvin Harrison Jr. I think they understand that they've traded back and got a whole bunch of picks last year. They've understood what they needed to get from a value perspective. They took their licks as far as that's concerned to rebuild that roster. It's time to turn those premium picks into actual difference-making players. And there's nobody, as much as I do love Caleb Williams, and I do think he's amazing, there's nobody that is a day one difference maker like Marvin Harrison Jr.
And I agree.
How much of a hole that they have in their roster. So I would be personally surprised if the Cardinals don't take Marvin Harrison Jr., there's also the possibility of them trading out at 4 and then trading back up to 5 because they wouldn't be having the quarterback tax attached to it, and the Chargers may be going back to 11 after the Cardinals trade back with the Vikings, so that the Chargers could stay, take some offensive line help, and then get those extra picks, because the Chargers need all the picks in the world themselves. They're like the Cardinals from last year where they trade back and they need those picks. So I think the Cardinals will end up with Marvin Harrison Jr., in my opinion. It could take some, finagling to get there.
Now that makes sense, because like in that scenario you just mentioned, they trade back to 11, and then the Chargers is there. They can definitely trade back up to that spot with the Chargers, and Marvin Harrison Jr. will still be there. So like, and like, why wouldn't you draft Marvin Harrison? Like, you just had Larry Fitzgerald there not so long ago. You saw what he did for your franchise. Helped you get the one Super Bowl appearance. So I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is on that level of player, or he can be that level of player.
Please don't let him go to the start.
In my personal opinion, and look, that is a possibility that could happen.
No.
I would be a little bit surprised, because that would go against what the philosophy seems to be there with the Chargers and where they're at in their team build, but we'll see. In my opinion, I would be shocked if Marvin Harrison Jr. gets out of the top 5. I think he's either going 3 to the Patriots, 4 to the Cardinals, or 5 to the Cardinals or Chargers.
Yeah.
Okay, so who has the best chance of making? Who has the best chance of having the best night in the draft?
Who?
I said, what team do you think has a shot at having the best night of the draft? Like,
No, I thought D-Mac said something. I heard you.
oh my bad.
I thought D-Mac was saying
Oh,
something.
no, I thought you were still on the boneheaded move. But I'll say, you know what? Because I really like the way that they've done their team build. I think the Cardinals have the chance of having the best night. If you go at 4 and you take Marvin Harrison Jr. and you're sitting there at 27 because you traded for the Texans pick last year, and you get an impact defender, whether it's in the secondary or on the defensive line, I think that's a great draft for you guys. So I would say the Cardinals, I think, certainly have a great shot at it. Yeah, I think the Cardinals could. If a team like the Giants or Falcons do a really good job at taking advantage of maybe trading back and getting extra picks, or the Chargers from that perspective, they also could trade back, because I think they need them. Both of those things are on the table. I think if the Bengals get a stud right tackle, that could happen. What'd you say?
Bears?
Yeah, I was thinking the Bears.
Yeah.
Like, Bears better hit something.
Oh, they don't have a choice.
Top 10?
They're going to hit on Caleb. I'm going to say it. I would be shocked if they don't. But number 9, if you get an impact defender, which they definitely could, or you get Roma Dunze, which I think would be over the moon for them to run that card up. So if you get both of those guys, and you're cooking with gas as far as I'm concerned on that offense. We already know what the defense did to finish last year, in which they got sweat. So definitely Bears are in that.
I'm going to say the Washington Commanders. And because when you look at the second round, they got 2 second-round picks, 36 and 40. I think there's a lot of value in those spots in the second round, and then that's when they can build on what they get with Jaden Daniels, in which who I expect them to draft. You get Jaden Daniels, and then in round 2 you find value at the other positions that you need, and I think there's going to be some players there that they need, and that's going to help improve their team. So I'm gonna go Washington Commanders.
Panthers traded their picks last year, right?
They got the Bears
at 33, so they pick at the first pick in the second round. I thought we were just talking.
And they got 39 too.
Yeah, and they got 39 as well. I'll present a secondary scenario, and it kind of also applies to the Panthers, but not necessarily as much because they don't have a first-round pick. From the Commanders' perspective, because in my opinion, I would be going Drake May, number 2 overall. I do think that he's better than Jaden Daniels. I would be, a little bit concerned if Jaden Daniels ended up going to the Commanders from my perspective behind that offensive line. But if the Commanders wanted to say, and because they have those 2 high picks in the second round because they trade those guys away, if they want to take that guy, Drake May, because we know that they have tackle issues, and they want to package those picks to move up into the first round in the 20s and go get a tackle that they really like there, whoever that may be, then that's a place where you say, oh, well, they had a really good draft. And it's a little bit of a diet version of what the Texans did last year, trading up to go get Will Anderson Jr. When you're able to go and pair that quarterback with an immediate impact guy at a premium position in the first round, that really can jumpstart whatever you do as far as your team is concerned. So I think the Commanders could also have a really good night as far as day one if they choose to go that route as well.
To me, I feel like Jaden Daniels fits more what Kingsbury wants to do. He's a guy that can extend plays. I think he can sling it all over the field. That's just me personally. So
I would be concerned if you're trying to fit what Cliff Kingsbury wants to do, which is my other concern as far as the computers are concerned about the quarterback that ends up going there and his development. But that's a different.
That's Chuck God, man. Chuck loves Kingsbury.
So no, I've been a big fan of Kingsbury, but I just know how Kingsbury likes to roll. You know what I'm saying? Because the quarterbacks he done coached in the past.
Drake May was more accurate outside the pocket than he was inside the pocket. He can move on the run and just sling it everywhere you want it to go. He doesn't have as much Crash Bandicoot in his game as Jay Daniels does, in my opinion.
Crash Bandicoot is crazy.
He does. Jaden Daniels, because he's RG3 with a little less passing polish, in my personal opinion. He will take hits, but he can run. And he's not necessarily a track star, but he has enough athleticism that he can make some guys miss. He has the ability to be mobile. He has good arm strength. I wouldn't say it's Drake May arm talent, and certainly not Caleb Williams arm talent, but it's very good. I won't take that away from him. He has some pressure issues, but I think Caleb and Drake also do. I won't take that away from him as well. But man, that man, he will just take those hits, and I don't want to put him behind the Commanders' offensive line, which is why personally, if the Vikings went up and got him in a space where I know Kevin O'Connell can set his game plan, protect him properly. Obviously, they have bookend tackles. They have all the weapons he would be needed. From that perspective, I would really like that landing spot for Jay Daniels and his future success compared to putting him in the Commanders, where obviously they're the wide receivers, but I have serious question marks about what Cliff brings to the table and that offensive line.
Yeah, offensive line that's a fair statement. At the same time, like I think they're in a position to where like you might be able to start building that up in the second round. You might be able to do that. At the same time, you still got Terry there. You lose Curtis Samuel, but you still got Jahan Johnson as well. So, I mean, and you got Diami Brown too. So, like, that's still kind of a decent foundation right from there. And then you bring in a guy like Austin Eckler that can do the same stuff that Antonio Gibson did, but a little better to complement Brian Robinson. So, I mean, there is that. And at tight end, they still got they still got Logan Thomas, or they moved on from him.
They still
Logan
Thomas? They got a young guy, and I can't remember his name.
Cole Turner.
Yes, that's his name. And I kind of like what
I like his potential. So that's just me, though.
All right, man. All right, I got a last question. What is one of your favorite drafts, and what are the worst drafts that you've ever seen? Not just saying from a Kansas City standpoint, but from let's do first rounds. What was one of the greatest first rounds you ever seen, and what was one of the worst first rounds? I think we can all agree, and I'm gonna go out on the limb. 2013, where we got Eric Fisher, is one of the worst first rounds I've ever seen in my life.
As far as
that was offensive line. That was offensive line heavy.
That draft was not good.
That draft.
I was going to say, relative to the actual draft, I thought we did amazing considering how the rest of the draft ended up turning out. So,
But that first round is horrendous. If you redraft that first round, DeAndre Hopkins goes top 5, and he was picked 27.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean,
Travis goes first round, and he was in the third. Like that first round was just horrendous.
2 or 1. Yeah.
Hey, did we get Justin Houston that draft too?
We killed the rest of the draft. We didn't do bad in the first round, but everybody else did.
Did we get Justin Houston and Kelsey the same year, or was they back-to-back years?
I think it was back-to-back years. It was back-to-back years.
Yeah, we took Justin Houston in 2011. That was the Rodney Hudson draft. And then we took Travis Kelce and Eric Fisher in the 2013 draft.
Gotcha. Okay.
2014?
Shout out to Nile Davis, man. 2013.
Nile Davis. He had to kick return for a touchdown in a playoff game. So
I would have to say, what was your favorite first? I would say what was Trent McDuffie and George?
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
we killed
definitely up
that.
there.
We killed
2022,
that.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, the structure. I mean, the entire 22 draft class, you could probably say, is the engine behind back-to-back championships. When you talk
Yeah.
about Trent George, Brian
Oh,
Cook, Leo Chanel, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah, just
yeah, that was
like
the Chiefs' best draft.
yeah,
Man,
that's probably
it is.
you could probably say that that's the Chiefs' best draft of all time. Like
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
I mean.
just
Yeah,
because that's yeah, it's
but
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
how we go not say the year Mahomes when we finally drafted a quarterback? I mean, that's the easy way out, but finally drafted
Yeah,
a
that's the
quarterback
obvious one for
and
me.
how we did it. That's
Mhm.
gonna
Mhm.
be number one.
Yeah.
Eric Berry's
Just
here. That was pretty cool too, because
I would
Eric
say
Berry was
Marcus
still coming out.
Marcus
Man,
Peters and Mitch Morse back to
that
back to
was a
start a
good year.
draft, so very good as well.
That was a good year.
But I say this from a league standpoint, from what we have seen, 2011 was pretty deep, man. Like you had Cam Newton, you had Von Miller, you had AJ Green, Patrick Peterson, Julio Jones, JJ
That was
Watt.
11?
That
What
was
picks
a
did we
damn
have
good
that year?
Some all
class.
decade players in there. Sound like
Yeah, that's a
Who
damn
did we
good
pick that
class.
year?
Is it 2011?
Yeah, who did we pick?
Who did we get in 2011?
You know what?
That
I
was
don't like
that was
having top 5 picks with
oh,
the
no.
Chiefs because we got Tyson Jackson and
You know who
Eric
was
Fisher.
2011?
Who?
Jonathan Baldwin, baby.
Oh Lord!
Hey man, y'all have a nice night, man. Thanks for coming, man. We got a week to the draft, man. You know. Go ahead, go ahead and shut it down. Go ahead and shut it down.
Oh man!
Y'all in the house.
I
Man.
swear to God. Hey, bro. Hey, look. This is Kingdom Cast and my thoughts only. But if we ever get Thomas Jones on this show, I have to ask him, what happened, bro? Why did you punch Jonathan Baldwin in the face? Why did you punch that man out the league, bro? Why? What did he do? What did he say? What started it?
Oh,
What did I don't care. Man. Y'all would just have to be if we were to pull Thomas Jones, I would just have to waste the interview by asking, bro, what happened? Why did you punch that man out the league, bro?
Shout out Thomas Jones, man.
Yeah, man. He's still acting. He's still acting, ain't he?
Yeah, he's still doing some Tyler Perry,
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to
sisters,
him, man.
Kingdom Queens,
But
all the Queens men. What's the name of that Tyler Perry? All the
Kingdom's
sisters.
Queens.
That's all.
Shout out to the Kingdom's Queens, though.
Shout out Kingdom Queens. That's why
That was Kingdom Queens. I don't know.
Yeah, that's I was like,
It's called All the Queens Men or something like that. I think he's the pick for it.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
you talking about
Mary
Kingdom
Jane.
business. I think you meant Kingdom business. I think that's what you meant.
No, that's the church
Is that-
one. He ain't in that. That's Michael John
Oh,
White.
okay.
I watched Kingdom Business. That was pretty good.
Okay.
Anyway.
but yeah, I remember when people was hyped because Jonathan Baldwin was doing the combine. They were so hyped off his combine numbers. They was talking about his vertical jump and everything, bro.
Pretty like this, bro. He had one of the greatest catches in life, and it didn't count.
Yeah, that was some BS right there, dog. How you not gonna count that, bro?
I thought
That was clearly a catch, man.
He did all that, and it didn't even count.
It was over a Hall of Famer too. It was over Brian Dawkins, a Hall of Fame safety, because he had just went to. Yes. Dawkins had just got to the Broncos. He snatched over you. Man.
What was the draft? Herm Edwards when he got Jamal, he got Brandon, he got both of his Brandons.
That was the second best year.
That was a hell of a draft. We got BA, we got because we got BA
Dorsey
early, and then we got who we get in the first round?
Glenn Dorsey.
What?
Glenn Dorsey.
Oh, we got
Brandon
Albert. We got Albert and Dorsey.
Yeah.
And then we got Page, Flowers,
Carr.
Yep.
And Jamal. In the third.
It was Pollard too, wasn't it? That whole secondary we drafted that year.
I don't think Pollard was
I think Pollard was already here though.
He was already okay.
Yeah, Pollard was already here for sure.
I feel like Pollard was in the draft with Holly. Like I think so.
That sound. Oh, because when did we do Hard Knocks?
Oh wait.
So that year we had Dorsey, Albert, Flowers, Jamal, Carr. That was all 2008.
That was like the first 5 rounds. That was shit.
That was a good draft right there, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we got a week away, man. Like, it should be fun. Are you tired of picking late round first?
No.
I mean, I know that means you won the Super. Never mind. You're right.
Nope.
Right. I just thought about it. Never mind.
I will pick it 32 from now until eternity. I'll never be sick of this.
See, look,
Hell
the
no.
winning does not get old. Winning does not get old.
Winning doesn't
gentlemen.
get old.
Good.
Picking at 32 kind of get.
Nah, I don't.
No, you know
I'm
why
good.
it don't get old?
Hey,
Because when
Wong-
they announce our pick, they go say, and the world champion Kansas City Chiefs are select. I love hearing that. So no, it's not gonna get old for me, man.
You know.
And then on top of that, we could trade up if we want to from 32. If we really want
I
to.
was thinking maybe we could like suck for a couple of years and then draft 3 great wide receivers, and then we can say we were winners.
No, there's plenty of wide receivers. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Hey, listen. At some point, we will hit a wall during this run, but for the time being, just enjoy it.
And the only wall we hit was Tom Brady.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since we ran into that.
He's not wearing the turtlenecks.
And Tom Brady, your ass ain't coming back, man. Your ass ain't considering coming back, dude. Stop it, man.
Look
You
at
just try to get the
Brady.
people talking, man. Come on,
you
dog.
might
No,
come
I'm ready
back,
for
man.
Brady to call the games, man. I think he's gonna be great doing that. I really do. I can't wait to hear him call the games.
Shut up, man.
Stay retired,
Yeah.
man. Stay retired.
Hey, Quinn, chill out.
Chill
Quinn,
out,
chill
bro.
out.
Look at that,
So-
Boogie. Look at that. Boogie ain't ready for that conversation yet.
I'm out, man.
Kansas City,
That's all I need to see. Quinn, you know you didn't cross the fucking line, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Respectfully. Go to the sponsor.
Boogie told dude today. He said,
Yeah,
"Bro, how you gonna feel when the Chiefs in Kansas?" And Boogie said, "How it's gonna feel when you follow me for all these years and I just block you?"
I hate to see him go like that, man. No, hey, don't speak on none of that, man. Don't do that. Let's enjoy this 3-peat. Don't quit. Don't do that no more, bro. Come on, man. You know we've been DMing about that situation. Don't speak on that on this podcast. No.
It's not a lot of tweets that you hear in a person's voice, but I heard that tweet directly in Boogie voice. So, how you think it's gonna feel when I block you after you follow me and been entertained for all these years?
Respectfully. Yeah, come on, man. We can't play with that. Now, y'all crossing the line, man. It's supposed to be a cool podcast. Don't start doing that, man. Don't do it.
Corey, you gotta tell us your budget, man.
Yeah, you gotta give us a budget, bro. We ain't gonna let nobody hurt you.
Hey, Corey, they about to have you. What's them hotels right off when you come 435 East? What's the name of them fucking hotels?
The Holiday, the Arrowhead Inn.
Man.
The juice.
Corey, man, you better tap in before it get too late, man. We don't want to have you where you don't need to be now. Come on, Corey.
Man, we are not gonna let you book into a hotel that only goes by the hour.
Yeah, don't. Hey, tap in before you.
By the hour is crazy. By the hour is nuts. What the
Hours, crazy.
hell no?
How many hours you need?
Hell no. Oh man. So with that being said, man,
we won't let you book into a hotel where you have to bring your own sheets.
Don't. Yeah. Hold on. Hey, Corey, man, do it the right way, man. You better listen to D-Mac, man.
Oh God.
Happy
Boogie.
420. Happy. Hold on. We got a fight this weekend. Chuck promised me we was gonna say something about this fight.
yeah,
Who fight?
yep, for sure. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
Wait, is that on
God.
Saturday?
Yep, this Saturday.
We got the playoffs.
It's 420, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's go.
You
For a great
celebrating the
Saturday.
holidays?
Of course I
Yeah.
am.
Answer that on here. Get with me. Get
It's
with
legal up there.
Okay. It's the holidays. We got NBA playoffs. We got a fight. I got Devin Haney TKO 8th round. They gonna stop it. Ryan Garcia is not mentally here right now. So I got Devin Haney with the stoppage. I got Denver. I got Phoenix.
Hey, can we stop that? Can we stop that fight before it even begins? Because something wrong with Ryan
No,
Garcia.
I need to see it
I
happen.
don't want to see him get hurt.
You
You
didn't
wanna
talk
know-
so much now. It's gotta. We gotta.
It's
let
gotta
you-
happen.
You gotta turn
You-
your head.
You want to know what's interesting about that fight? I got Devin Haney winning too. I don't think he's gonna knock him out personally, but people are talking about Devin Haney could possibly win on disqualification too, because of where Ryan's mind is at currently. I'm seeing that floating around.
Bro. Where's his mind? Is it on this planet with us? Where is he at?
They trying to. I seen Bernard Hopkins trying to say that it's one of those things where he's acting like this to make Devin Haney throw his guard down. Some of this shit you can't act. Some of the stuff he's saying and how he looks. You see people with mental health problems before. He got the same type of looks, man. And I hope that ain't what. I hope he's trolling. But some of the shit he done said, I really don't think he's mentally right. Oscar ought to be ashamed for himself, because if he get hurt bad, we gonna be on Oscar's ass.
That's what I said. That's why I said DG. That's why I said DG.
They gonna stop it.
I don't know, man.
Because bro, dude got pushed and said he identifies as a woman. It was like, what did
Bro,
that?
wow, bro.
What happened?
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna.
Oh
be,
hell no!
I think it's gonna be a decision, but I hope.
Let me tell you something. Jate is one of the biggest dumbasses ever in sports history.
Dumbass of the century, bro.
I can't say respectfully.
No, ain't no respect. Ain't no respect.
Nah, ain't no respect, bro. You dumb as hell.
You the dumbest of the century.
Hey, look,
why you making $20,000 and you make 2 points?
They had a man and said, 80,000 on Jonte Porter prop bets, and they thought he was gonna go through. And they thought it was gonna go through for $1.1 million, and they thought that FanDuel was gonna be like, "Yeah, we paying you $1.1 million over Jonte Porter prop." You out your whole rabbit ass mind if you think that's gonna go through. And it said every red flag up and for Adam Silver, every single one. That's it was like,
hey, he's so dumb.
Hey,
bro, he's so dumb with betting. They need to reinstate Pete Rose. Just forgive him.
For real, dog.
Because we got a new scapegoat for gambling on your own self. He hit the under on himself.
Bro. And D-Mac,
motivated to be better.
Do you remember the clip? You remember the clip when he shot that three and he banked it in, and he was like, "Damn, you weren't supposed to."
Nah, bro. He needs to be.
Bro, he was going. But he was gonna win 5,000 on that game. He didn't want to hit that three. He gambling for chop change, bro. Get it.
A damn shame, man.
Michael Porter. I swear to God, Michael Porter. Please don't have nothing to do with this.
Hey, country, that's already been handled. Michael Porter Jr., the quote Jeezy off of Soul Survivor. If you get jammed up, don't mention my name. That's what he told Jonte.
Dog, so crazy. I can't wait to see that interview. If he ever do an interview, would be crazy.
Who would do it? Who would have to do it? Stephen A. Smith?
No, he can't do it.
No, Stephen A. is not serious enough. No. Hell no.
What about Up in Smoke? Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes.
Yeah, he gonna need.
I can't take them serious either.
He's not important enough to go in there. He's gonna be on, some janky podcast.
He gonna end up on Gilbert Arenas show in a minute.
He gonna be on Fit and Fresh, man.
Yeah, that sounds about right for him.
Like that.
That sounds about right.
He gonna be on.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, that sounds about right for him. He gonna
be on the Zeus Network. Hey, Kingdom Cast betting show with Jonte Porter comes.
Hell no. Hell no.
He can't even fucking win betting on himself. Hell no.
Hell no.
No advice from champion.
No.
How you can't even bet on yourself correctly? Come on now.
Yes.
Supposed to
Look,
trust you
it's gonna be
betting on
called.
everybody else.
Blender and
It's
got
gonna be
hurt.
called. It's gonna be called. Do the opposite. It's just no matter what he say. Do
Do
the
the wrong thing. Do the wrong thing with John T. Porter.
Oh man.
Bro,
With that being said, bro.
I hate to be a copyright
Black
infringement,
man
bro,
can't
but you
bet with
donkey of
John
the
T.
day.
Porter.
You donkey of the millennium, bro. You did it. You took the cake.
Somebody said donkey of the week. I said, shoot, he probably got it for the year. He might be a
dog.
candidate for real.
He donkey of the career. He ain't got one no more.
He
20K, bro.
won.
You gonna learn Chinese, buddy. You gonna learn Chinese.
Over there.
Can he play? Can he
I
play in
don't
China?
think he can play no professional basketball.
No, he can.
Oh,
It's just the NBA that he's
just not the
banned from.
NBA.
Why
Yeah.
would another sporting league party, man? They know he gonna be betting on himself.
Yeah.
He gonna
Big
be in with some. He gonna be in with some bookie in China, the same one that got Shohei's interpreter hemmed up, and he gonna get his kneecaps chopped off. Man, we can't trust him in my league.
Hey, Otani's a wild. Otani's a wild boy. Otani was betting on everything.
They said Otani went to Arizona and opened up a bank account. It was depositing millions of dollars in there and handed it over to the interpreter, who was telling the tax guy on the Shohei's team not to look into the account. And the tax guy was like, "Oh, okay."
Chris Carter told you what's up.
Shohei was putting MLB money in an account that the tax guy couldn't even see because the interpreter was gatekeeping it for his funds.
What did Chris Carter tell y'all, man?
Guy of a fall guy, right? Oh man.
Like I said, Shohei either the fall guy or he's the dumbest person to ever exist.
Nah, Jonte gonna be playing in Czechoslovakia next year. It ain't gonna even be China. China too good for him.
Jonte about to be on the my part on 2K with me here in a minute. He ain't no more professional shit with him. That's a wrap.
Even Ice Cube was like, "Nah, we don't need no help, bro."
He said, "Not even the big three."
Jonte better be careful, man. He's gonna have when Vladimir Putin's cousin trying to hem him up after he bet too much money on the wrong game, dog. You better be careful over there in Czechoslovakia, dog.
Hell no.
He's gonna be fighting Jokic brothers.
There's an arms dealer that got his name on it, man. You gotta be careful.
Hell no, man. Oh man. With that being said, y'all, man, we're gonna go and close it out, man. Appreciate the 458 that's in here right now. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight.
458.
Yeah, 458. That's what we got up to, brother. Yeah.
And if you see Jonte Porter, you slap his ass in the back of his head.
I don't think Jonte gonna be able to go to an NBA Finals game.
I don't care if he's 6'9". You jump up on the ladder, you slap the hell out of his ass.
Nah, he can't go. Nah, he banned, bro.
Right.
It's a wrap.
The Cardinals
Here go Trey. Yeah, St. Louis must have lost or something. I don't know. But
we're on today. Trey just always got us on the mind.
Oh, he hate. Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to the city, baby.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Royals, man. Hope they keep it going. So, with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share on social media platforms. The draft is next week. We got something special for y'all. Until the next episode.
Wait till that new news drop.
Wait till that new news drop.
Wait till that other news drop.
Wait till the other news drop.
Wait till that other news drop.
Yeah.
The other
news.
Y'all some assholes, bro.
But yeah, we out of here, y'all. Till next week.
Hey, I better take 30 seconds to Chuck to close the show out, man. I'm on my